heart, but you'll switch. Play your cards that you deal with. I'm a terror, I'm flipping my subs, so show me love and we set like Ellen. I say, yo, this is Cam and this is Yugi-Flow, and today's video I am talking about locals, and hopefully, and I mean hopefully, you don't take too many of these. Alright, you don't want to be X4. So my locals are on Wednesday. This video probably won't drop till Friday, just because of editing and things like that, and I'm tired, honestly. So I'm gonna go through some of the struggles that I have, and then I'm gonna go through the decks that I played and how they turned out. So I'll give you maybe 3 things that I do to prepare for locals. Thing number 1 is I make sure that I'm fully prepared. I bring my backpack, so I have my box, I have my play mat, I have my die. Make sure you have die and a calculator. Some type of way to keep track of life points, and some type of way to die roll in the beginning. If you need to use it for counters, those type of things, they come up all the time. They're really important. Thing number 2 is I make sure that the sleeves for my side deck and the sleeves for my main deck are the same sleeves. So after game 1 and I have to side, the last thing I want to do is have to take my cards out the sleeve and then put them in. Like, it's just so frustrating and it takes up so much time. Your opponent is staring at you. You make sure that your sleeve colors are the same. Obviously, your extra deck is going to be a different color. Well, I guess, I'm sorry, it might not be obvious. Your extra deck sleeves will be a different color. But your side deck and your main deck, you're going to want them to be the same sleeves. And number 3 is I run test hands as much as I possibly can, because the thing is with locals, as opposed to, online or just playing with your friends, is it's so many rounds, which means it's so many games. So you need your deck to be as consistent as it possibly can be. Some decks aren't going to be that consistent. And that's just your deck. You already know what you made. You know what it is. You just need it to pop off whenever it pops off, and that's fine. But you need the most consistent version of that deck. So now at this point in time, I'm going to run through what I played, how I did in that match, and from there you'll figure out how I did overall. Game 1, I played against somebody who this is his first tournament he's ever did, I want to say. And he was learning his deck. He left his side deck at home. It was tough for him. He was playing a Zombie World. Honestly, Zombie World is OP if you can get everything off. He needed a little bit more work with his strategy, a little bit more work understanding the deck. And again, he didn't have a side deck, so I was free to pop off completely. I should probably mention I played Drytrons. I typically play Dinos, but I just wanted to try out something different. I do Dinos every time, every locals. It was 44 people though. I'm thinking it's gonna be like 8 to 10, maybe 15 at best. So I'm like, all right, I'll try out Drytron just to get the feel of it. 44 people on me trying a deck I've never played in person. I've only played online. So after I beat him the first game and he kind of saw the vibe and saw I knew the deck and all that, we decided I would just take the match win and we would spend the remainder games helping him with his consistency and helping him with what bricks he can take out his hand. So realistically, we spent the rest of the time just trying to help him improve his deck because he knew he wasn't going to be able to beat me. And honestly, for me, it's more important to have fun and enjoy the game than it is just to run over an opponent for the sake of it. So the second game I played was against Gadgets. You heard me correctly, Gadgets. And in this Gadgets game number 1, nothing he could do. Set full board. Like, my board was Dragoon, 4 fairies in hand, I had IP Masquerena, and I had Ultimateness with another Drytron and attack. It was like I had never in my life set a board up like that before. Like, online, as many times as I played Drytron that one time, I felt kind of bad for him because, so I thought it was going to be an easy 2-0. Second game, bricked heavily, and Gadgets dusted me. Game 2, Gadgets. Game 2, all bad. Game 3, it was, I don't know what happened. I bricked again, but this time around, Gadgets also bricked pretty heavily. And it was just a top deck war, and I'm playing Drytron. So I top decked before he top decked. Went into, Boral Sword? Game over. Game 3, I played against Virtual World. So the Virtual World player I played against, he was pretty good. He was clearly still needed a little bit more help with the rules. He was confused on certain rulings on, like, when does he use Droll and Lockbird? When exactly can you activate a monster's effect? What's the difference between a quick effect and, like, really all the different type of effects when he can activate them? But he wasn't bad. He was pretty good on the combos. One thing I will kind of say that kind of bothered me a little bit was his friends were there, and one of those type of things where they're kind of making faces at his hand and like, I wouldn't do that, or you should do this. And it's like, I really don't like when people do that. So the game after that, I played against the Mirror. I played against Drytron. Game 1, he set his board up. I looked at my hand. I saw the Red Eyes Fusion. I said, let's go to game 2. Game 2 was a grind. Game 2 was a grind. Like, we both were grinding. Like, it was tough. Like, it was, I got Psycho Reader. Like, it was like, I don't know how I ended up pulling it off, but I ended up pulling off game 2. Game 3, we open. He goes, if you can show me 2 Drytrons to show me you have full combo, I'll scoop. I showed him 2 Drytrons and Ben 10. It was all bad. So, game 3, I won. That was a pretty fun matchup. My heart was beating the whole time. That game 2 was crazy. And then the final game was Shadal's. Shadal invoke Shadal, however you want to spin it. That was a grind. Game 1, I was so tired I couldn't think of when Shadal Fusion activated. When do the cards actually go to the graveyard? I had Double Crow in my hand. Like, it was literally like, I was tripping. All 3 games were grind games, though. Obviously, he's playing Shadal Invoked. I'm playing Drytron. Drytron's a pretty solid grind. It's a pretty solid grind board. If he doesn't let me get my board together, it's all bad for me a lot of the times. But if I'm playing against a grind deck, we're grinding. So I'm going to get resources. Aerial is a problem. A problem for Drytrons. We ended up going to game 3. Honestly, all 3 games were grind games, so there's not much to say. One of the games I pretty much won because I DD Crow'd out Alistair. But honestly, the last game, it boiled down to he hit me with Aerial, took the Drytrons and banished them. And I had a full graveyard, so then on the last play, is whatever I top decked was going to determine if I won or not. I top decked a Ritual. And I'm happy because I'm looking at my graveyard and it's thick. And I'm tired, so I can't remember what's in from game 1 and what's in from game 3. Like, I literally couldn't remember. So I pulled the Ritual and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is game. Like, I'm about to win. It was Natasha. I can steal a monster. I can go for, Boral Sword, Borolo, whatever one it is. Honestly, I was so tired. I was like, all right, I'm going for game. And I look in my graveyard. It's full of fairies. So in my hand, I have Natasha and a Ritual spell. What am I supposed to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was over after that. He played a heck of a game. He ended up getting first place. 2 people did have a tie on their record. So that was 2nd and 3rd. And I ended up in 4th place. I'm happy with my performance. This is maybe the 3rd time that I lost to the first place person in the last round. My locals is pretty competitive, so I'm not mad at it, honestly. Like, I played a lot of competitive games. I never played with the deck in real life. It's just online. But overall, outside of those excuses, like, I'm still learning the game. There's still misplays I make. But I'm getting to a point now where I can help other people on their misplays and teach them certain rulings and helping. If we all help everyone around us, then the game becomes such a better game.
Best, I don't fail shit, I don't rest. Or scoop a brick, I won't let you take a win, that's 2-0. Move slow when I combo, that's Dragon Link. Pass turn, no need to think. The world I'm in is virtual, where the sky's Ojama pink.